Hi guys, this is Mrs. Anding, your school librarian and site technology facilitator. And this video is for all of my student workers, and I will probably use it throughout the upcoming semesters. This is a conversation that I've had with every student worker that I've ever had as a student worker and anybody who's ever worked as any kind of clerk. Some of you might have already heard it, whether from a previous semester, because I have managed to get to you, but it seems in this day and age, I'm running faster and faster, and especially with the whole virtual situation, it's probably better that I just make the video, even though I want to have the conversation, one on one in person, so that everybody can hear it. So everyone will get assigned to this video in their Google Classroom. It will be uploaded into Edpuzzle, and then put into Google Classroom. Please watch it at any point if you have any questions. Please let me know, but fill out the Edpuzzle. Please remember that being a library student worker is not a graded course. This is not one where I assign you grades and you get an academic credit. Think of this more as I guess you could say, internship. You are gaining real world skills. I'm not going to pay you in a traditional sense, like with a check at the end of the week for doing a good day's work, or, quote unquote, paying you with a grade because you did, your assignment correctly. You'll get paid more like, I put that in quotes, more like an intern. And in that, I say things as you are getting job experience. This might lead to by all means, keep your volunteer hours record, whether you're doing stuff for me during class or outside of class, so that you have a record in case you need that for an application, chords, things of that nature. You might get paid with a job recommendation or a college recommendation. I write very good ones. But these are the ways you might get paid, without being formally paid with um, money, a check, or a grade. Now, I mentioned the word internship. While this might not formally be declared an internship, it really acts as one. And one of the benefits of an internship is getting to try on a profession. So in this case, you're getting to try on a little bit of the profession of library science or information science, depending on, where you go. It's usually a master's degree. There are people who work in our field without a master's degree, but they usually don't carry the full title of librarian. They might carry the title of library technician or aide or something of that nature. A lot of times it still does require a bachelor's degree. There might be some jobs at like a public library that are high school, but usually we're looking at a minimum of bachelor's. And for the full-fledged, status of librarian information specialist type thing, it's often a master's. I do have a master's. And one of the topics that's studied in that master's course, or sometimes maybe as a minor to a bachelor's, that is something that is now being offered. LSU offers that now, where they did not offer that years ago when I went to school, is a minor. One of the things studied is ethics. Okay. Now, most of the time I ask my student workers what an ethic is, and it's not a word you're aware of, but it is a word you should be aware of as you go out into the professional world. And this is a definition, a noun, a set of moral principles, especially ones relating to or affirming a specific group, field, or form of conduct. So my field is that of librarianship. Okay. As an adjective, it says relating to moral principles or the branch of knowledge dealing with these. All right. So moral principles. So my brain always kind of thinks of the old cartoons with the devil and the angel. And what an ethic is, sometimes it actually ends up getting codified into law. But a lot of times this is what's happening when you don't have a law. What an ethic is it's supposed to be um, kind of like your guiding principle, especially in a sticky situation where there may not be a clear cut um, um, guideline. Uh, a lot of times the profession actually then tries to make a guideline for you for these sticky situations. Please remember that you are trying out the field of librarianship, whether you intended to or not. I am a librarian. Do I mess up with my ethics? Everybody messes with an ethics at some point. We all do. Do I try very hard to uphold mine? Yes, I do in multiple ways. For example, I'm making this video for y'all. While you might not be a professional librarian for the next, 2 months, semester, however it may play, you are working in one, so you need to represent those ethics to the best of your ability. Serious enough about this that I actually do have a page on it on the library website. So it says I'm a member of a couple of groups. To the best of her ability, I attempt to maintain the various ethics that are important to the library profession. Please look through the documents below at your convenience and contact me if you have any questions or concerns. So 3 of those are the American Library Association Library Bill of Rights, the American Library Association Library Code of Ethics, the American Library Association Freedom to Read Statement. Okay, I've pulled each one up. These are out at any point. By all means, please take the time to look them over. So here is the Freedom to Read Statement. So this has to do with censorship and that everybody has the right to make their own opinions, read their own information, etc. By all means, I encourage you to look this over. So here, you notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this statement for us was last updated in 2004, but it was originally started way back in 1953. So librarians have been trying to figure this out for a long time. What does it mean to have the freedom to read? Not all societies give you that. The American Library Association, members work very diligently, give you that right to read and make your own opinions. Okay, have availability of access to information. Okay, so this is one to look over. My code of ethics. Okay. It says, as members of the American Library Association, we recognize the importance of codifying and making known to the profession, to the general public, our ethical principles. Ethical dilemmas occur when values are in conflict. The American Library Association Code of Ethics states that values to which we are committed and embodies the ethical responsibilities of the profession in this changing information environment. Okay, my personal ethics might conflict with my professional ethics, and I'm supposed to act, how do I act? Librarians are very much aware we significantly influence or control the selection, organization, preservation, or dissemination of information. In a political system grounded in informed citizenry, we are members of a profession explicitly committed to intellectual freedom and the freedom of access to information. We have a special obligation to ensure the free flow of information and the ideas to present and future generations. So here are several things in that code. My Library Bill of Rights. I used to actually have this on a card that was kept in my wallet. Okay, the American Library Association affirms that all libraries are forums for information ideas and the following basic policies should guide their services. Okay, so do my services for, Glen Oaks get grounded in these? One of the biggies, if you think about freedom to read, the idea that we're disseminating information, there should be a freedom. Notice the word censorship here. So I was supposed to try very, very hard not to censor what is in the library. We do have selection policies, so I do need to look those over. Some of you have already helped me selecting books. There are reasons I might put something in. There are reasons I might not. But I should be able to back them all up, and it shouldn't just because I believe they shouldn't be there. There should be some principle behind that. As student workers, probably the two, if you go through these documents, and I would like you to go through them on your own after the video. Check out what they mean about it's open to all, and we treat people with fairness and respect. Think of, I hate to say it, but customer service. So whether you personally like the person or not, doesn't matter. Your professional ethic is that we should serve them to the best of our ability, equally and fairly. In all services, to the best of our ability, if they are people that we should be serving, our population. And even if they're not our population, still give them respect while we're working with them. Another biggie, right down here, you can see it, is privacy and confidentiality. Okay? So, as a teacher, I am legally obligated to be a mandated reporter. There are certain situations that I must report by law, and those usually fall into things like abuse of children. So I won't lie. If a student comes to me and says, they need information and they admit for certain reasons I am mandated by law to report that. I cannot not do that. Okay. But other than following the proper procedures for that, I will then maintain their privacy and their confidentiality to the most they want me to do, as long as I do the steps I'm required to do. If it does not fall into that range, I am to maintain their privacy and their confidentiality as much as possible. And that shows up in many ways. Um, a student checking out a book and then a teacher coming to me and asking, well, who's got that book? It's been checked out too long. Um, I've got 5 kids who want to read it. So just tell me who it is so I can go um, get them bring the book back to you. I've actually had that question a lot, and I deny it unless that person, for some reason, like also the parent of the child, that is the student's confidentiality. There might be a reason why um, they don't want people to know they have that book. Okay. Think about the idea of a student came in. I always mention this example, but they come in and asking for information about breast cancer. And in the course of finding, asking them to help me clarify so I can give them the best resources, I find out that their mother has breast cancer. Now, one resource I should provide them is things like eye care, guidance counseling. Those are possible options. But that's not something that I also then need to go tell, all the students in the class down the hall. And if that student realizes I have told them, I might have broken their relationship with the library in the future. So why would I say this to y'all? I say this to y'all because you might be there when that student says something. Okay. And y'all reporting and telling everybody is effectively the library telling everybody, which could, if they think that their privacy has been violated, could, eventually affect their need to, their trust in a library to provide them information, confidentiality, etc. So remember, are there certain reasons why misanding? Notice what they say, ethical dilemmas when things are in conflict. I might have that conflict one day where I have to report something because I'm a teacher and I'm a mandated reporter. And then I also have my library and ethics. That is a moment where, for privacy, that is a moment where I'm going to have to make that ethical decision. Where does that leave y'all? Please maintain your best customer service to all of our patrons, whoever they are. Respect everyone's privacy. If you have a question, by all means, come to me or one of the administration above me. Please look over these documents to get a better sense and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.